now going to get into a section that we're not going to have time to go into depth into today. But the next session we're going to do is about practice and how to effectively practice when you are singing and using your voice. This is a question I get sometimes. Why do I need to warm up before I sing? Any ideas? Yes?
If you don't, you can strain your voice.
Okay. Why would it strain your voice?
It's the same as like you can't go directly into playing a sport without warming up. If you do that, you have the possibility of tearing
You have to loosen things up first. Like,
Yeah.
hurting yourself.
Yeah. So warm-ups are designed to increase blood flow, to stretch, to get the body and the brain lined up for producing singing. It's a little bit, because how we use our body and our breathing when we sing is different than how we use our voice when we're talking during the day, yes? It's a little bit different. So we have to kind of get our bodies prepped for that. And we're going to go into more details about how to effectively warm up and how to practice on our next session. But one thing that's really important, I mentioned this previously, are semi-occluded vocal tract exercises. Yes, isn't it cute? So these include bubbles, so in fire. I know. Semi-occluded vocal, so semi-occluded means partially closed. So somewhere in the vocal tract between the vocal folds and the opening where the sound is getting out, there's a narrowing or a smaller, a narrowing is the way to put it. So if you do a or do those? Yeah. That's considered a semi-occluded vocal tract exercise. I have my students singing to straws, where you sing it. And this is another kind of nerdy science thing that they're finding, is those semi-occluded vocal tract exercises are really good for lining up and making the vocal folds vibrate really efficiently. And we're going to be going into more details about that in the future. Something that isn't talked about much is cooling down your voice. Has anyone ever heard about vocal cool downs? No? Okay. So if you have a really athletic event that you do, maybe you run a marathon or you are in a football game or something like that, and you just stop, you go from high activity and then you just stop completely, how do you feel the next day? How's your body feel?
Oh man, I can't stand that. I got
Super sore. Terrible. Well, we treat our voices kind of like they're not part of our body, but it is. It's a muscle. And there's tissue in there that needs to be cooled down after the heavy voice use. So a cool down is 5 to 10 minutes of things that look pretty similar to your vocal warm-ups, your semi-occluded vocal tract exercises to help kind of re-neutralize your voice, to stretch things, to get things kind of cooled down. Exactly. So we got to do those things to help our body repair. Our body repairs better and quicker when we do an extra little bit of cool down than if we completely stopped. So they did a study about people who did really heavy vocal use and then just stopped completely and did complete vocal rest, and then people that did cool downs. And people that did cool downs, even though they had more total vocal use, recovered faster than those that just stopped. Does that make sense? So if you have a choir concert on your way home, you should be doing 5 minutes of or work with your voice teacher to get you some specific exercises that are good for cooling down your voice. Cool? Any questions about that? So, you all have a choice. You now are part of the privileged few that have knowledge to arm yourself to prevent vocal injury and abuse. And so you no longer have an excuse of ignorance to be part of that 1/3. But it's your choice whether or not you're going to put these tools into practice. And some of these things we talked about today may include an adjustment to your lifestyle. They may mean drinking less caffeine. It may mean getting more sleep. It may mean increasing water. It may involve changes in your behavior and your lifestyle. But here's the deal. You guys are still young, and there's so much you can do to help yourself to set yourself up for success for the future, so that we can all not look like that. Yeah?
Yes! Loud noises, you guys. They'll hurt your vocal cords.
Yeah, George.
Oh, okay. Thank you. And you guys are also you are a privileged part of your choir community as well, because as you see, not everyone's here today or could come today. So use your information to educate your fellow people when they're having voice issues. It's not your job to diagnose them, but to give them this information and to point them to the people that they can get good information. And that way we can all be Giselle, singing to the mountaintop, carefree, no vocal issues. It's amazing.
Wait till you selfie if I turn into that.
So that's the end of my presentation, but I wanted to open it up for any questions that you might have about anything specific about your voices or about any of the topics that we covered.
So if you're singing a lot and you do like, I guess, the warm-up stuff, should you drink cold water to like kind of?
Oh, that's a good question. So yeah, so I see where you're going, because we think cool down, and are we wanting to actually lower the temperature of the voice? No, that's not really part of it, but that's I could see where you would go with that. I'm glad you asked that clarifying question. No, the cool downs is really about neutralizing the system. So for instance, so I have to do this with myself. So I go back and forth between singing classically and singing pop and singing different styles. So if I'm singing a really heavy belting set, I'm gonna cool down in my head voice. I'm gonna do a lot of ooh. Conversely, if I'm singing a lot of my high coloratura stuff, and I'm stuck in my soprano high voice and I can't go down, I gotta cool down in my chest voice and do some oh. I shouldn't demonstrate vocal fry. I did specifically, but you guys don't do vocal fry. But I have to do things to kind of cool down my voice, and essentially you want to leave your voice in a neutral place before you shut up for the night. Does that help?
So if you feel like a lot of like mucus, like what do you do? Like I don't know.
Mucus, yes, mucus. So mucus, when we're at night, it'll drip down and drip onto the vocal folds and can irritate the vocal folds. So what do? Some people use neti pots. Have you ever heard of those?
all the time, which is probably bad, but
Well, they really work for some people. So a neti pot, I don't have a picture of it. But essentially,
What?
so a neti pot,
So weird.
you essentially pour a saline solution through your nasal passage, and it helps to clear out the excess mucus.
I can't imagine going through that pain.
It's really not painful. It's not like getting water.
it's weird.